Welcome to the Modernize or Die podcast, CFML News Edition, where we keep you up to date with everything going on in the Cold Fusion community. We'll share the latest news on events, releases to engines, frameworks, libraries, and tools, as well as spotlighting quality content from the community. Welcome to Modernize or Die, CFML News Podcast. It's episode 218, August 20th, 2024. I'm Gavin Pickin, in case you've forgotten who I am, and joined today by Daniel Garcia. Hey, Daniel.
Hello, how are you doing, Gavin?
Pretty good. Just had to fix all my streaming setup since it's been a little while, so sorry everybody about that. But yeah, we're back and ready to do some more episodes here. So it's been a little while since we've been on the podcast together.
It has been. It's been a little crazy. That's all summer.
Yeah, I know the kids are finally back to school. It feels like things might be a little more or a little less crazy. I don't know about you, but glad
Uh,
glad to have them back doing their thing and just settling back in.
well, kids are back to school, and so am I. So, it's for one more semester.
Good point. Yeah, that's definitely a busy life.
Yeah.
But lots of us cool stuff going on in the community, and we're going to share some of that with you today. So, hey to everybody in the chat. I see a few people chit-chatting with us, so cool to have them joining us. Hey, Andrew Davis. Anybody else is out there? Hi to you guys too. Okay, well, let's get into it. So, off the bat, let's just say thanks to our sponsor, Order Solutions. You see the logos everywhere, but we're the makers of ColdBox, CommandBox, ForgeBox, TestBox, and all your other favorite boxes out there, including the new Boxlang language. So if you didn't hear about that into the box, we definitely got a lot of stuff going on with the Boxlang language, which is CFML supported. So you can use it to run CFML code, but you can also run Boxlang, which is a bigger, better version with some cool things done. So I can't really explain it the way Luis or Brad would, and we actually have a video in here about one of the meetups I just did with Charlie, and you guys can watch that one for more information on what makes Boxlang so cool if you missed the keynotes from Into the Box. Anyways,
Yep.
so there's a few ways I can say back to Order Solutions, right, Daniel?
Absolutely. You can buy tickets to Into the Box 2025. We've got the dates, April 30th through May 2nd. Again, in Washington, D.C. It was awesome this year, and it's looking to be even better next year. We'll talk a little bit more about that in a little bit. You can like and subscribe for videos on YouTube. You can help Ortus reach for the stars by star and forking our repos. You can subscribe to this podcast on your podcast app. Leave us a review. As always, sign up for a free or paid account in CFcast. We're always putting new content out there. You can buy some merch from the Box Life store, or you can buy our books, 102 Cold Box HMVC Quick Tips and Tricks. And it's also on Amazon. So we get all those links out there as well. And oh, good, Gavin, you're pasting those links out there.
Yep, you talk, I'll paste. That's how we do it.
Perfect. The problem is when you talk, I listen and I forget to paste. So I have to work on that.
It's okay.
But
Yep,
shout
so
out to Andrew Davis and Scott Steinbeck. Hey guys.
yep, good to see you guys in there. Yeah, so lots of cool stuff in there. I'll share the links here for the books as well, but yeah, a lot of good stuff in there. And again, just some ways you can say thanks back to Order Solutions. And another way you can support Ortus and everything we're doing is through our Patreon support. So if you go to patreon.com/Ortus Solutions, you can see some of the cool Ortus Patreon plans that we have, and we have a bunch of Patreon supporters, up to 58 now. So thanks to all those Patreon supporters that thank us and support us with their own finance, and we appreciate each and every dollar and each and every one of you. And we'll talk to a little bit more about the Patreon support at the end of the show too, and we'll even call out some of our top Patreons there. Too many to list them all, but we still appreciate each and every one of you.
Absolutely.
Yeah, but let's get into it. So first up, we have our news and announcements. So,
Yeah. Big one, Into the Box 2025. The call for speakers is now opened. This
yeah,
is we're a little early this time around, and which is awesome. As always, we're excited to invite you to share your knowledge and insights at Into the Box 2025. We already announced the dates, April 30th through May 2nd in Washington, D.C. 3 days. The first day is a workshop day. Then the second 2 days are the conference days. But if you've got a topic that you want to present on, go fill out the form.
Yep.
Anything, anything modernized, modern CFML tools, boxlang. Always love boxlang. AI frameworks, open source libraries, cybersecurity, whatever. Go and fill out the thing.
Yep, and there are some benefits to being a speaker, and just in case you didn't know, you get the free ITB conference ticket, so you get to access all the sessions, including yours, at no cost. You get access to all the sessions, which is awesome, and you'll even get access to them if we record them later on CFcast as a attendee. And also we get complimentary meals, so you get breakfast and lunch through this conference as well. And then we get an individual hotel room as well, so you get your own hotel room for the basically 2 nights there, and if you want additional nights, we can get that. They won't be covered, but still 2 nights at the hotel in DC is a big plus, trust me. And then a workshop discount too. If you want to attend one of the workshops we'll be doing, you guys get 25% discount as a speaker. So it doesn't take much to sort of sign up. Just throw your name in the hat with some ideas, and if you're not sure how the topic might work out, we can always help you with some of that too. So if you got a good idea and you got a good sort of starting point, we can definitely give you some advice on how to make it a great topic. So we're looking for new speakers all the time. We're glad that we have lots of community members. We don't want to be the only ones speaking up there as Audis team members. We love having community speakers too. So we try to get, pretty close to a 50-50 mix if we can. So that way we can get lots of speakers in there and new ones as well. So it was great last year. We had some new speakers, some really good topics, and looking forward to more this year.
Yeah, it was a great venue too. I really liked it this year. I mean, I like it every year, but just the change of scenery from Houston to DC and just a completely different vibe. And DC is a cool city, and so yeah, it was really nice.
Yeah, for sure. So we need to get back there, and as Andrew said, he needs to get back there too. It'd be good to have you
Yeah, you
visiting, Andrew. Scott was there last year. He was speaking as well, so very cool.
And then we mentioned CFcast. If you attended this year, I believe they're all on CFcast already, right, Gavin?
Yep. So they're on CFcast. We put them all live now. If you're a subscriber, this is a premium package, so you will get access to them eventually. But if you want them early, you have to pay. But as an attendee, you get access right away. You should have got an email coupon. So if you get that coupon code and click on the link, it'll basically add the coupon for it. So you get the videos now. And if you are a subscriber, again, there's an upgrade fee. So you can still get to them. They'll be released to everybody who's a subscriber shortly, but they are premium for a little while. Gives it a little extra perk for those who did make the conference or paid online. So, but you will get access eventually. Sorry, you got to wait a little bit longer.
If you did attend, you for some reason did not get the coupon code, reach out to Gavin, reach out to me, reach out to any of your Ortis people and say, hey, and we'll hook you up.
Yep, for sure. We'll get that email resent or maybe sent to another address if the email is maybe your boss or something else who signed you up. It happens. So
it does.
Okay. Well, next up, we have some new releases and updates. And the first one is just fresh off the press today, Adobe ColdFusion updates. So they released ColdFusion 2023 and 2021, August 20th, 2024 updates. And so they've made some updates to there. They've upgraded for Tomcat for both versions, and there's some more information in there too. So if you're using 2021 or 2023, we always recommend you look into the updates, and I'm sure Charlie Earhart will have an update shortly with all the details of anything you need to be aware of, etc. when you're upgrading this process. But definitely check out the notes, and I think Daniel's already posted them there, so you can find out more about that. And it was a general update, not a security update. So that's always a good thing. A lot of the times it's like, security update, you got to do it. But yeah, not this time. So yeah.
I think the big thing is they upgraded Tomcat to a little bit newer version. But I did not look through the tech note yet. But like I said, Charlie will most likely have something soon, and go check it out.
For sure. Yep. So good to see them releasing updates. I'm kind of curious what else is in there. So we'll have to dive into that later. We also have some Boxlang betas. So for those of you that weren't aware, we try to release a Boxlang beta every week. So on Friday, on the 9th of August, we released beta 9, and on the 16th of August, we released beta 10. So we're still working hard. It's part of the reason you're not seeing as many people on the podcast, and it's not as many podcasts, because Audis is working really hard on Boxlang to get it to the point where we can release a final release candidate. And so beta 9 has some pretty cool features, like the PDF modules in there now, and you got some more features around the object load, object save, object serialize, and object deserialize stuff. Some better REPL support there too, with exit REPL with quitter exit. Some serializable Boxlang classes to binary and back. So really been going through it. And for those who didn't know, like, we attacked all the main pieces before we even announced it at ITB. So a lot of the core was already done, and we're adding a lot more features. There's even some cool experimental features on the Boxlang.json file, and there's some transpile options for CF transpile and feature audits, and some pretty cool stuff. And then beta 10, I mean, just 1 week later, there's a whole bunch more stuff in there, right, Daniel?
There is, and I'm also excited. I think Brad was talking about another kind of cool thing coming very soon. Or would it just, I'm trying to look at my notes here. Snapshots have much faster revamped Antler grammar in use, so they should be even faster.
Yep, exactly. Because basically we built this from the ground up, so we're not using all the passing engines in Lucy or Adobe. We've got our own AST, and they've been working really hard on the transpiling process to take the CFML into Boxlang and Boxlang into Java bytecode, essentially. And so that whole process, they've been optimizing it for all the changes we've made and all the updates. And so he says it's 10 orders of magnitude faster, or 10 times faster. I'm not sure which, but it's a lot faster than it has been. And obviously, as we settle things, we can get more into the performance improvements, and it's just really cool to see. And if you haven't looked into it, definitely go watch the ITB keynotes, and there's a bunch of other videos, and we'll talk some more about it. But it's got some really exciting things, and you'll see more blog posts coming out soon. We're trying to get some little roadshow of content from Boxlang, from all the different people being working in the team. So it really has been touched by a lot of people on Audis. So
yeah, and also I want to shout out, we got a lot of community members that have been contributing and testing and contributing updates to either the code or the docs or ideas, or helping us clarify some things, or asking just really great questions.
yeah.
And we appreciate all of you that do that. Absolutely.
Yeah, there was some on the pre-release as well, and they had to keep their mouth zipped, but they've been helping from from day one of the pre-release program, and they're still in the Box Team Slack, responding, testing, and new people are jumping all the time. So it's really cool to see. Obviously, it's something we're passionate about, and we want to improve what we've built on with the language and take it to new places. And so for us and our clients, it's a big deal, and the whole community. It's great to see that they're jumping into it too.
It's been a very positive, reception from everybody, and just, it's a cool toy, but it's more than a toy, but it's cool. And we, like I said, we just appreciate everyone. That
Yep.
is,
Yep, so there's a couple links in there, and of course, if you go to Audis blog, you'll see lots of updates there as well. And you can check in on Slack as well. Okay, so next up, we'll talk a little bit about webinars, meetups, and workshops. And the first one is with Charlie Earhart. So he did one called CF Scheduled Tasks. There's more than you may know. And so he recorded that on August 8th at 12 Eastern time on the online Cold Fusion meetup group. And so there's a lot in that for sure. And so he's got a great session on that. So definitely check that out. It's even more than just the CF schedule tag and the CF admin UI. There's a whole lot of features in there, and you may not be aware of. So Charlie definitely goes deep on the subjects, and he's got great knowledge, and he's sharing that there. So highly recommend that one. And the other one is actually another online Cold Fusion meetup group, and this is the one I was talking about with Luis and Brad, right?
Yep, getting started with Boxlang runtimes. Kind of, if you don't know what we've been up to this last, year, if you missed our big announcements everywhere, come watch this webinar.
Yeah, and actually, I've got to watch that one too, because it's so hard to keep up with all the stuff that's going on. Man, but this getting started guide is a great one to get you up and running. So they try to keep it super simple, and the coolest thing about the Boxlang is that it can be used from CLI or as a server runtime or as a AWS Lambda runtime or more. It's super small, only 6 megs of the core. So it's super fast and super small and allow you to do a lot more stuff. So we're really excited about what we can do and where we can use like the language we're used to in CFML and the CFML syntax, and but like fix all those things we wanted to fix and make things more performant and work with Java better and everything else. So there's a lot of cool stuff, and this one shows you how to get started. So very, very cool. So highly recommend that one.
Yep, I need to watch it too. You mentioned things change so fast sometimes, and sometimes we get kind of siloed on some things, and all of a sudden it's like, oh, that's available now. I gotta check that out.
Yep, exactly.
Moving very fast.
Okay. Next up, we have CFCast, and as we mentioned, we released like 30 videos from ITB 2024. So that's all there for all the attendees. Again, reach out to us if you don't have the coupon code, and we will get it to you. We're now that the summer rush is sort of over, I think we're going to get back to some more regular scheduled content for everybody. It's just been crazy time working hard to get everything out the door, and summer vacations and all those things. So, but definitely if you are an attendee, there's lots of content for you to view there. And again, we do have some free content. The keynotes were free on YouTube. You can watch those as well. We have some other content there. But CFcast, for those who don't know, it's a service, video service for CFML content, and it's got free and paid content. And we're trying to give an even mix, but of course the subscribers get more content released on a fairly regular schedule here. So, and they will get all that ITV video stuff very soon too.
Yep. There's stuff that I need to watch too. There are sessions I was able to attend.
Yeah.
And I just need to go and catch up myself.
Yeah, that's the thing. It was always with 2 tracks, you're always gonna miss half of the conference. You're gonna miss half of the great stuff, and yeah, like there's no sessions that I went to that I was not impressed with. You know, they're all great content. So, speaking of conferences, we've got a couple coming up. One sooner than later, but we have CF Summit West in Las Vegas.
We do. It's at an all-new venue, the at Resorts World, the new venue from September 30th to October 1st. And then October 2nd, you can get certified. The agenda is on there. We'll post some of those links up there. Pricing right now is $199 for the session pass, which is cheap. The coupon code might be in your email if you've been a previous attendee. If you want the professional pass, it's only $398, and you get the certification training. Really, all of this, Adobe does a lot to subsidize these events, these conferences. This conference should be a lot more money.
Yeah, I mean, they spend a lot of money. I mean, yeah, they don't even probably cover half their costs with the conference. It's definitely a marketing thing, and it's a great conference. There's a lot of good people there. There's a lot of good speakers there, a lot of good sponsors, and we'll be there as well. So Otis will have a booth there again. And I believe we have Luis speaking as well.
Jacob speaking.
Jacob speaking as well. So Jacob, for those who don't know, he's done a lot of great work on the VS Code extension for, we've updated from CFML to Boxlang. So the Boxlang VS Code extension now supports Code Fusion and Boxlang. So he's got some really cool stuff with step debugging and all sorts of crazy cool stuff in there. We got more content coming about that soon too. So highly recommend that. But they'll be speaking. And then, of course, after the conference, actually before the conference, so you want to get there on Friday night, Saturday and Sunday before the conference, which is Monday, Tuesday. Luis is leading a workshop, and I'll be there to support him. It's building a REST API for the modern developer. There's only a few seats left. We've already sold quite a few tickets, so definitely want to jump in on that. And early bird pricing for that lasts until the end of August, so August 31st. So you got another week and a half if you want to grab the early bird pricing, which is $499 for 2 days of workshop. And it's not a workshop where you got 150 people in it. We usually try to keep about 15 to 20 people max, so we can have all that individual attention you need from both Luis and myself. And we'll be there to basically help you build a REST API for the modern developer using ColdBox REST API and all the cool stuff that comes with it. So you'll learn about command box, CB security, CB Swagger. You'll do security, validation, all sorts of stuff in there. Be able to test your API, all the stuff you need. We'll look at JWTs and everything you need. So it's a great workshop, 2-day workshop. It'll be jam-packed with goodness. and you get to hang out with some Mortis people and some great community members as well. So highly recommend that. Again, September 28th and 29th. So right before the conference. So good excuse to fly to Vegas a little early and hang out and do some training.
I'm actually kind of bummed. I have to miss it this year. I've
Oh,
got a event that weekend, and then I've got a family wedding the following week, and it's just I couldn't swing it. It's just too
yeah.
much. But
Well, we'll have to see next year at ITB. So,
ITP, and again, we announced this earlier in the box 2025 in Washington D.C., April 30th through May 2nd. We'll get the link up there. We got 50% off blind tickets. So if you know you're going to go, you can buy a ticket right now and get half off. What a blind ticket means is we don't have the speakers yet, but you know us. You've seen our conferences before. You know we always get a great group of people.
yep,
And so sign up. You won't be disappointed. I know I won't.
yep, exactly. It's going to be a good conference anyway. And we actually have quite a few people that already signed up and bought the blind tickets, and that's great. So we appreciate you guys jumping out and signing up for that. And of course, there are a lot more conferences going on. One of the places we like to refer people to is the comps.tech website, which has a list of conferences, and usually that's updated with local stuff as well as online stuff. So if you're looking for a conference in the area, not just Cold Fusion related, but anything, maybe JavaScript or even something like Go or Rust, if you're looking for something to play with, you could go to a conference and do those
Oh,
types of
oh,
things.
oh, there was one more. Where was it? I want to say CF Camp just posted their dates for next year.
They did? Oh, I missed that. I'm sorry about that.
Where was it? I saw it pop up somewhere. Was it
Uh,
Facebook? Was it on? Uh,
that's a good
seriously,
question. Yeah.
I was going to make a note of it and tell you, and then, well, let's just go to the website, cfcamp.org.
Is it there?
Save the date, May
Oh,
22nd and 23rd.
ooh, it's early this year.
It is early.
So that means it's not in the summer rush where the last couple of years it's been in June, but this will be May 22nd. So that's right when people graduate and stuff. It's always hard with families, kids graduating or into school, this and that. But yeah.
Maybe 1, 2, 3, about 3 weeks after In the Box.
Oh, very cool. Okay. Well, thanks for that. We'll get that added to the show notes as well. So we get that published for everyone who's watching after the fact.
Yeah, I don't know if it's the same venue as last time. It's Germany, still the same country.
Yep. I'm sure they'll get more details as we come out with, getting closer. But I know the last couple have been in the airport in Freising, Munich. So I'm assuming it'll probably be there too. So
Yeah, well, they put a note on there that it's going to be at the Thomas Hotel in Munich, airport by the Mercure.
okay, I think that's the same one. So
If it's not the same venue, it's probably pretty close. That's my guess.
cool, cool.
So yeah, hot off the presses.
Yep, exactly. Well, next up, let's look at blog tweets and videos of the week. And so we have a few. We got a few teases out there for the ColdBox REST API. And so the first one we have is the ColdBox REST API caching. So it's a little taste test of what you can do with ColdBox and the caching. And so this one just sort of talks to you about event caching and how easy it is to do ColdBox, and then obviously teases you to find out more at the training we have coming up. And we did also do that call for speakers, so we have announced that. And so we won't speak too much more about that, but we'll post a link for those who want to find out more about that and maybe submit something. It'd be great to see you guys submit some content and get some new speakers in there. So,
Oh, you got it. Great.
yep, already got it.
Sorry, I was checking something with Safe Camp really quick. So I'm back, refocused.
Okay, well, tell us about the next one then.
So another from the Ortis blog, maximizing productivity with expert coaching and support and mentoring, kind of talks about what does it take to be a mentor and how to help others, and talk about best practices, how to figure out issues and working with others, and when you should seek expert support and mentoring.
Yep, exactly. I mean, a lot of people know that we build tools and everything else, but they don't know that Ortis actually spends the majority of the time supporting and mentoring other teams. So we don't just come in and do your project for you. We can actually train you and show you how to use our products and tools to do do things, or even help you just with your existing projects, whatever they might be. And so we'll actually come in and sort of help you. And so this talks about, what type of things do we offer and how could we help you? And again, it's one of those things where it's just like a little 60-minute little session, sort of looking at some of your ideas and giving you some thoughts and whatever, through all the way through to, we have people where we're basically members of another team and we're just helping them just like a developer would be. Um, and as Andrew says, the best money he spent was a few hours of Otis's time, just to, basically make sure he was on the right track and give him some little guidance and, put him in the right direction. And then, he could still do it. So even if you have a team, something that Otis could have someone just, revise some of your plans and just, so, yep, you're on the right track. I would look at this though, because it might be a concern down the line, this or that security, etc. So anyways, that one talks a little bit more about some of our offerings. And the next one's another Coldbox REST API teaser, but it talks about routing, because obviously routing is a big part of APIs. And if you don't know how to use routing in your REST API, life can be a little difficult. But there's some really cool stuff in Coldbox that can make routing really easy. And so, yeah, again, find out a little bit more about that, and then again, more information on jumping into that training.
Yeah, the thing with Coldbox that it can do whatever you need. Sometimes people are like, "Oh, it's too much stuff. It's too complicated." Well, it doesn't have to be. Coldbox can be easy, or it can be very complicated, and so it's whatever you need.
Yep, and
And so
they make the complicated stuff really easy too. Like I just did a Coldbox training last week, and I showed them how we just tied CB security in, and all I had to do was secure the entire handler, was to put the word secured at the top of the page, and then you have to be logged in to access any of the actions in that page. And they were like, really? That does all of it? I'm like, yep. And it'll redirect to the login page if they're not logged in. And if they don't have permission to go there, it'll take them to another page which says you don't have permission, and it'll log that. I'm like, you can set that up with a couple of little settings. It's just one word on your file, and now that whole thing is secure. Or a whitelist in your firewall, and now you can say, okay, these pages allowed, but everything else must be logged in for you to access. It's, these super simple things, and it's convention over configuration, but you can configure it to do anything you want,
Yeah,
so
you follow the basic conventions for the routes as well, and with all your based on HTTP verb,
yep,
and all the convention of the function names, you get something up and running very quickly.
yep. And with resourceful routes, which you'll learn about,
That's what I was.
it's even better. So yep, I'll leave you at that. If you want to find out more, go figure that out for yourself, or show up to the training and you'll learn more about that. But it's a super big one. But yeah, we obviously mentioned the beta 10 released and the box
We missed
9.0.
one.
Oh, we did? Oh, you're right. Sorry. Go
Because you missed it, I'm going to talk about it.
Go for it.
No, you talk about it.
Oh, okay. Well, there was a conference just recently called B-Sides, Las Vegas, and was it O'Reilly? I'm trying to remember his name. I always see his website, Hoyo Haxa. So that's a security expert, and I just totally blanked on his name here.
And I'm looking too. That's kind of why I wanted you to talk about, because I thought Brian.
Yeah, Brian O'Reilly. Yeah, that's the one. I was like, dang it, I remember. Yeah, so Brian does a lot of work with Cold Fusion security and everything, and so he's had a couple of talks at Adobe CF Summit in the past too, and so he spoke with this B-Sides LV about modern Cold Fusion exploitation and attack surface reduction. Talks about some of the ways people do attack Cold Fusion and the things that you can do to make sure that your attack surface is reduced and hopefully keep you safe. And so basically he said basically something very similar to what he did at SummerCon with a few updates. So if you want to see those slides, they're up there as well.
Yep, the slide deck, and that's Brian Riley. And so he did that August 7th, so just a few weeks ago.
Yep.
So definitely check that out.
Okay. So
these are the kind of things that when I go to conferences, these are the kind of sessions I'm really interested in, but then it always gives me a little bit of like heartburn.
Yeah, I get scared.
Oh man. Like when Pete Freitag just scares the heck out of you. And
yeah.
But you should go to those, because that's stuff we need to know about.
Yeah, for sure. So as I was trying to say earlier, and I got I missed one. But the Boxlang Corner is a few sections around Boxlang, obviously. So we talked about the Beta 10 release and the Beta 9 release. But there's also some other little posts, and this one's actually from a community member. So this is Computer Know-How. They've been working with Coldbox for so long. It's great. And they were back at the box this year after a few years away. But yeah, so Kirk Ratz and his team talked about Boxlang. How does it JSON? So it looks about, Boxlang and dealing with from Boxlang, JSON, over with the JVM and everything else. And so it's kind of cool to see someone else talking about it and excited about it too. And so if you want to find out more about how Boxlang deals with JSON, jump into that one.
You know what was also exciting, Gavin?
What?
Seeing Kurt at Into the Box.
Yep, it was cool.
Did you guys have a little adventure too, like after the conference?
Yeah, we went, we grabbed a couple of, we went for a walk, and we were walked so far away from the hotel, we decided we should probably get a scooter to hit back. And then we are like, well, since we got these scooters, why don't we head down to the Lincoln Memorial? So we did that, and then we zapped around the Washington, and up us. Yeah, we zapped all over the place. We were out for a couple of hours, just zapping all over the town. It was a lot of fun. So a little walk turned into a little adventure, and yeah, it was a lot of fun. We got some pictures we have to use for marketing because we were out there middle of the night on scooters with the lights and the Washington Monument behind, the little fountains and waterfalls, and actually found some waterfalls in the middle of the night. It was kind of crazy. So there's some other stuff that I'd never seen. I went back the next day and found all these other things that I'd never seen. So there's so much stuff around there. I've been there several times now, but there was, some super cool places. There's actually like a whole bunch of waterfalls on the south side. Yeah, it's just east of the Washington Monument, but on the south side of the, yeah, I'm trying to remember the name of the little lake thing. But anyway, there's a lot of cool stuff around there. There's a bunch to see and a lot of fun. And of course, the conference is great too. But
Hey, you weren't chasing those waterfalls, were you?
no,
You shouldn't be chasing waterfalls, Kevin.
no, I didn't fall in any either, so it was a good day.
Stick to the rivers and the streams that you're used to. Anyway, sorry, I'm dad joke mode.
Yep. So we got
Boxlang feature. Actually, you talk about this one too, because I had not looked at this one yet.
Yeah, just so some Java method references and higher order functions, and basically that's one of the big pluses with the Boxlang stuff is we've been wanting for a long time to be able to do more with Java. We're built on the JVM, so we have all that power close at hand, but we weren't able to get into and use a lot of that from CFML as well as we wanted to. And so, they've added a couple more features in here, just building on top of that. So Java interrupt now, basically, it feels like it's basically just right there in Boxlang. And so you can look at the article and find a bit more about it, but there's a lot of Java interrupt stuff. And so I really highly recommend if you're dealing with Java stuff, and you've had the pain of dealing with Java stuff before from CFML, Boxlang just makes it so much easier. I mean, you can access method references direct from Boxlang, it's just like it's part of the language. It's not some other weird thing you've got to call through some crazy bridge.
Jump through hoops and
Yeah.
something per thread, and it just works.
Yep.
Exactly. Well, that could be
Exactly.
a Boxlang. Boxlang, it just works.
Yep. But it doesn't just work. It does things the right way too. So how many times have you been chaining member functions, and then all of a sudden you get to one of those array or struct member functions that returns true instead of returning the array? Like, how annoying is that?
Yep.
So yeah, so we have some Boxlang biffs. Now, just so you know, if you're using CFML, you can, there's a compatibility module that allows you to have all the traditional CFML, sort of I guess, yeah.
Specialness.
Yeah, specialness. I was trying to put it nicely. But if you want to use Boxlang, you can get all the other stuff that you used to in CFML, but we can actually fix some stuff. So we can have all the array and struct built-in functions, what a biff is, that basically, when they should return the object so you can keep chaining on it, will actually do that. And so if you're using Boxlang, not the CFML piece, then you can basically do that. Or turn that off of the, if you're not using the right compatibility module, you can improve it and use that. So, but
Or you could do both. I mean, you can run your CFML right on Boxlang with the compatibility module, and you could still take advantage of some of the new Boxlang stuff as well. You can mix and match.
Yep. And I think the main one was like the append. Actually, there's a lot. So yeah, so box slang is updating all of these functions. So array append, array clear, array delete at, array insert at, array resize, array set, array swap, struct clear, struct key translate, struct insert, struct append, query set row, query delete row, query sort, array append, array delete, struct delete. So those are some of the functionality that usually if you call an array member function, it would return the array. So you could do more with it. But these ones just return basically true, like and yeah, a lot of them do stuff like that. So you expect it to return the array. And so if you do array, like my array dot append foo returns the array. But if you do array append my array, it returns true. So yeah. Anyway, so read the article to find a bit more about it. But like I said, now that we have control of the language, we can do a lot more of these things. And again, we can still make it work inside of your Cold Fusion compatibility mode, but you can use some of these other features. And yeah, we're just improving it. It's really nice to be able to do that, and have the control. And
Yep,
it's not as hard as I thought to do it as well. Like seeing how to write a BIF and how to create an alias for something, and to like it's a lot easier. Like Brad and Luis and everyone who's done the infrastructure side of the language has done a great job to make it easy to work with. So someone like me can come in and actually contribute to the language.
someone like you, Gavin.
Yeah.
But yeah, I thought it was awesome. We weren't even talking about lambdas that much yet until we had a retreat in April, and all of a sudden, Gavin's like, "Hey, let's do something with lambda," and boom, we had lambda. Let there be lambda. So it's been very cool, very exciting to be, just watching how we've evolved and developed. And I've never done anything like this before, and
Yep.
so yeah, it's really cool.
Yeah, Andrew Davis says, if I made a PR on box saying if I can do it, anyone can.
Oh
Well,
man,
I
what APR? Was it a documentation update? Because that'd be awesome.
yeah, there's definitely lots to change. And that's the thing with the box thing docs. We got so much docs that we're, basically taking stuff from CFML, bringing it over, fixing, improving it, and updating it to be, box slang versions or improvements and everything. And so it's a lot in there. Andrew Davis said it was a CGI scope thing. So cool.
Nice.
Well, one more blog real quick. So Ben Adele said a couple of blogs. We can talk about Angular quite a lot, but he actually had a podcast that he was on. He's on the Working Code podcast. They're up to episode 190 as well. They got a ton of great content there. And one of them was him and Carol. We're talking about career advice to the younger self. So I thought this was kind of an interesting one, and I thought you guys might sort of want to listen to that. And then actually Adam Tuttle and Tim Cunningham were on episode, I think, 189. They had their own career advice episode as well because they weren't all able to meet at the same time. So, but we got a link there if you want to check out another podcast. But yeah, career advice. It's kind of interesting. Makes you think like, what would you think about or do differently? And so. Okay, so on the CFML jobs, we have the getcfmljobs.com has got some content, and really we've only got one job listed in the last 2 weeks. But oh, actually, I forgot Daniel is typing one in because we did have one on the chat. Yeah, the Slack channel had one, and they're Patreon supporter too. So I will talk about this one while you talk about John's in a minute. So there is a contract position, a Cold Fusion developer in Herndon, Virginia. This was posted August 11th. And so there's one job there. I'll post a link for that one. But we also have this job posting from, as I said, Patreon supporter John Wilson. And he's looking for a CFML developer, but this one's got some interesting skills and a pretty interesting project by the sounds of it. So you want to tell us a bit more about it?
Yeah, absolutely. Now this was posted in the CFML Slack jobs channel on last Thursday from John Wilson. He's a Patreon. We love John. But he says a client of mine is looking for a full stack engineer for a data analyst QC position. They have reams of data that's imported every day from a number of sources, stored products, FTP, data mining, spreadsheets, APIs, etc. And they need automated validation repair mechanisms created. The right candidate is meticulous self-starter that loves numbers, data, and automation. The company is in Wheaton, Illinois. Woo, Wheaton, Illinois. It's Chicagoland, and will consider on-site or remote work. Pay is dependent on a number of factors, but they want someone with 100,000 a year plus in a competitive market. CFML SQL is the most important. Java, Quasar, GitLab, CIC, containers, CBQ, QB, AWS knowledge is a plus. Please message John there with your resume and anything you feel is relevant. U.S. citizens or green card holders only per client industry requirements.
Very
Now,
cool.
I know John pretty well. I know the client, and it's a great client to work with, and John is awesome to work with, and reach out to him.
Very cool. Well, that wraps up our jobs of the week. If you guys got anything, let us know. We'll try and post that there as well. Next up, we have our ForgeBox module of the week, and this one is a new module, and it's one of the release notes in this Boxlang. So it's the Boxlang INI files helper. So obviously working with, working with any app, a lot of times you have settings files or whatnot. So INI files are a pretty common way to deal with things. And so this module that was released allows you to work with INI files in a really easy way. There's a bunch of functions in there too, like get INI file, get profile section, because you can break INI files into sections with like square bracket headings and everything else. You can get profile sections, profile string, and then you can remove profile string and sections, etc. So as you add things, you can do it programmatically as well. So not just reading text to writing text. So good to know. And that is available up on ForgeBox for you, so you can load that up and get started using INI files from Boxlang.
Nice. I had not seen this yet.
Yep, it was just, I think, announced last week or something. So again, there's so much going on. You miss one meeting and everything's like just miles ahead. Everyone's working really hard to make it successful.
I've been a little more heads down lately, just client work, but yeah, awesome.
Yep. Okay, the next up we have our VS Code hint, tip, and trick of the week, and this one's for those Tailwind lovers out there. Do you use Tailwind yet? I know everyone talks about it. There's a lot of cool things out there that use Tailwind. A lot of lovers, a lot of haters. It's one of those polar ones for sure.
Yeah, I don't use it much. I don't do a lot of front end, to be honest. I'm mostly, back end API guy. So this stuff like this is awesome.
Yeah, so this is kind of cool because if you look at it, it's got a bunch of functions that make it easier working with Tailwind in colors, basically. So cool thing is you can take a hex color and allow you to convert it to like your Tailwind conversion. So it'll translate it to the closest Tailwind CSS class, which is pretty cool. It does have a color picker integration too, so you can use a built-in color picker, select those colors and those Tailwind classes that you need to put in your code. And if you have a color palette, you can basically use a list of favorite colors for quick and easy reference and reuse when you're inside the site. And then of course you can copy to clipboard real easy with just a click of the button. But yeah, it's a pretty cool little add-in. Again, VS Code, one great thing about it is you don't have to have a crazy big, expansive VS Code extension for it to be useful. And so it's really neat. So cool little extension, but sometimes it's all you need, right? Just a little extension to make your life a little easier, be a little more efficient, make you a better developer. So yeah, so Tailwind it's a pretty cool tool. And now I'm like, we need one like these for Quasar, because I like Quasar's color palette and everything. So it'd be nice to have one for that as well. And I'm sure there's a bunch of other tools out there that would, have similar ideas. So I wonder if we just fork it and change the color structure, and away we go. Be pretty cool. But
sweet.
Yep. So nice little tool for you there. Well, that brings us to the last section of the podcast, but it's still a really important one. That's where we get to thank our patron supporters.
Some would say the most important one.
Yep.
Well, everything's important.
Yep, so for sure.
Absolutely. We want to say thank you to all our Patreon supporters. These individuals are personally supporting open source initiatives to do all our great tools like CommandBox, ForgeBox, CodeBox, HantaBox, TestBox, Boxlink, and all the other boxes. Their contributions fund our infrastructure as our community relies on for ForgeBox and package management with CommandBox. And as always, you can support us on Patreon at patreon.com/solutions.
Yep. And there's some perks too. So you don't just get that warm fuzzy feeling when you're a patron supporter. You also get some perks. So if you're a bronze package and up, you get a Forgebox Pro account and a CFCast subscription as a perk. But don't worry, all Patreon supporters, no matter what level you are, get a profile badge on the community website, and you also have your private forum on the community website too, so you can ask some questions and whatever. And it's a private little forum. We try to pay extra attention to that. But also, Patreon supporters have their own Slack channel too. So in the Box Team Slack, there's a Patreon Slack channel. And if you are a Patreon member and you don't have your badge or you don't have access to those, just ping somebody. We'll make sure we get you added in there. There's so many people added all the time. We just want to make sure we don't miss anybody there. But you can find out more and join the community at the community.ordersolutions.com, which Daniel just posted the link for. And we have some top Patreons, and so Daniel just came up with a new term for them.
But I saw the one from last time. So yeah, these top Patreons are there. Boxerific.
Yep,
that works with box. You'd be amazed at how many words you can just add box to and swap and make a cool new word, like cold box. Anyway, box slang. Anyways, we want to thank our top Patreons to our totally boxerific. We've got John Wilson with Synaptrix, Tomorrow's Guides, Jordan Clark, Gary Knight, Giancarlo Gomez, David Bellinger, Dan Card, James Moberg and Jeffrey McGee with Sunstar Media, Dean Maunder, Kevin Wright, Doug Kane, Nolan Irk, and Abdul Raheen, and many more. Patrons are up to 58 now. 58. And as always, you can see an up-to-date list of all our sponsors on the Order Solutions website, ordersolutions.com/about-us/sponsors.
Yep. And again, we thank each and every one of you for being a Patreon sponsor. And thanks to all the other community members as well, because everything you do, whether it's a pull request or a bug, notification or an issue brought up somewhere, it all helps. And we're glad that we have so many active members in the community. So thank you, everybody. And we'll see you in a couple of weeks.
See you in a couple of weeks.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Show notes for this episode can be found at cfmlnews.modernizeordie.io, where you can also subscribe to your favorite podcast player like Spotify or iTunes. We also have the link to YouTube to find more videos just like this. The music used in this podcast is under a royalty-free license from Sound.com and Blue Tree Audio.